Good afternoon. Okay, good afternoon. We are now getting down to the quiz review. Okay, so under this one, we'll be able to look at an aggregate planning question. Okay, and the question reads, all right, so question reads, the production manager at Zamtech has developed the following aggregate forecast of its products. So we have the demand that came from different months. We have month 1 to month 7, and the forecast of demand, we have these ones here. Okay, so the regular production cost is $80 per unit. Overtime production cost is $120 per unit. Subcontracting cost is $140 per unit. The holding cost is $10 per unit per month. And of course, the back order cost, which is the same as the stock out cost, is the same as back order, is $20 per unit. Regular capacity is 40 units per month. Overtime capacity is 8 units per month. And subcontracting capacity is 12 units per month. And of course, there is information that is given here. Okay, so your manager wants to use a level strategy with a combination of backlogs, subcontracting, overtime, and inventory to handle variations in demand. There is no beginning inventory, and the stock and the safety stock requirement is 0. And note that there should not be a backlog in the final period. Okay, note that no commas, points, or commas or spaces in all the answers. All right, so the question now says the manager wants to use a level strategy with a combination of backlogs, subcontracting, overtime, and inventory to handle variations in demand. There is no beginning inventory, and the safety stock is 0. Okay, so now the first question says, what is the level total production rate? The level total production rate in units. So from the information that is given here, what is needed is to calculate the level of production. So our level of production here, the formula for level of production is equal to summation of demand minus beginning stock divided by the number of periods. So we're summing up the demand coming from various sources. We have a 50, a 44, a 55, a 60, a 50, a 40, a 51. After adding these ones, we divide by 7. The answer we're getting 50 units. That is on level production. Now, from the level production, they have given us so this is the total level production. And is 50 units. Now, this production, there is a regular production from a 50 or 40 units. Overtime units is 8 units. So to give us the total units of 48 units, meaning that the units subcontracted will be equal to. So from the 50 units, the 2 units will not produce. We are going to subcontract. Okay, so we're going to have what we call subcontracting units. So under subcontracting units, we are going to simply say the total level production, which is 50 minus 2. So you're going to have a 50, then minus 2. Okay. So the 50 minus the units we are producing. So 50 minus 48 is equal to 2 units. So the 2 units will be the number of units that we should actually subcontract, meaning that our production will be equal to regular production of 40 units, plus the overtime units of 8 units will be 48 units. From here, we've been told that the regular production units, 40 units, and the overtime capacity is 8 units. So meaning that from the level production of 50 units, the 2 units will be subcontracted. So 2 units, these are the units that are going to be subcontracted. So as we answer the first part of the question, we are simply saying, okay, so for part A, so at A on this one, we are simply saying the solution to part A. The first question saying that what is the total level production? So the total level production, looking at the regular production and overtime, is 48 units. That answers the first part. So here is, we can say 48 units. That answers the first part of the question. And then here, the maximum quantity units, that's the maximum quantity subcontracted and in which period. So we'll get back here where we'll simply say subcontracting maximum units, we have 9 units, and that is in week 4. So we have 9 units in week 4, as can be seen here. Okay, so beginning inventory was 0. The regular production is 40 the month. Then we have the overtime units is 8 units throughout. So as we can see from here, we are simply looking at, to meet the demand of 50, we are looking at the regular production plus the overtime. You add these ones minus the demand forecast. So our demand forecast is 50. So here, 40 plus 8 plus 2 is 50, meaning that our ending stock will be 0, because whatever we have made our forecast. So week number 2 or month 2, the ending stock is the beginning stock, so it's 0 plus production, which is 50. Okay, so the production of 50 here minus the forecast of demand of 44 will remain with 6. So 6 will be our beginning stock here. So our 6 here in this case, our 6 here is our beginning stock, then plus our production, okay, of these ones. Okay, we are going to have the ending stock of 1. The ending stock of 1 is the beginning stock in this period. So as we are getting down here, we can see that the ending stock for a period is a beginning stock for the next period. So you have the beginning stock of 1, okay, in month 4. So as we aggregate these ones, beginning stock plus the total production here, okay, the maximum capacity for overtime Okay, so this is what is happening here. So meaning that from here we can see the maximum capacity of units that were subcontracted were in okay, were in month 5, that is month 4, where we are simply saying that here we have the we have the beginning stock of 1 plus what you have produced is 40 plus 8 plus 2. These two, they are coming from the level production. I said level production was 50 units. So the level production, summation of demand minus beginning stock over number of periods. So you're simply saying 50 units. But the 50 units are the breakdown. Okay, so 50 units are the breakdown. Regular production was 40 units. Overtime was 8 units from the maximum. And then the 2 units were subcontracting units. So the 2 units were units subcontracted from the 50 units. Okay. Now the number of units here, okay, the units that were overtime, we have the beginning stock this month. The beginning stock was 1. Then regular production was 40 units. Overtime units were 8 units. Subcontracting were 2 units. So if you add these ones, you will discover that we are getting down to how much? 40 plus 8 plus 2. Okay, 51 minus what it is 9 units that were further units subcontracted. Okay, so we have the 9 units here. For this other period, we have throughout the whole production was 40 units on the regular basis from the total production of 50 units. The 40 units were regular production. 8 units were overtime. It was cheaper for overtime because overtime, okay, was 120 compared to 140 per unit. So overtime units were actually cheaper than the than the subcontracting units. So from here, we are simply getting down to our ending stock. Okay, so our ending stock is equal to beginning stock in plus production minus demand. So this is how we are getting down to this arrangement. All right, so this is how we got the level production. So 40 and 48, we are producing on a regular basis 40 units. The 8 units were overtime, then 2 units were to be subcontracted. So we didn't produce. Okay, so 2 units were not produced. So that's why the answer for the first one, for A, where we are simply looking at question A, simply asking us to find the total production rate is 48 units, meaning that the those units, some of the units were what? Some of the units were overtime units, and then the other units were regular production. Okay. So what's the maximum quantity subcontracted and in which period? So the maximum quantity of units subcontracted were in period 4 for 9 units, these ones, period 4 and 9 units. So this was the quantity 9, the period 4. That answers part B. Okay. Then getting down to the other one, if you check in this other month here, our demand was 50, and then regular production was these ones. So you just subtract 14 minus 9, okay? Because there is the total subcontracting units are supposed to be 2 throughout until the far end. So 14 units, total subcontracting units, minus the 9 units, meaning those remainder were back order units, which means they were stock out units. Okay? So what you're simply saying here is that back order units, okay, so we simply say total units subcontracted. So total units subcontracted is equal to 2 units multiplied by 7 months. So we are simply saying it is 14 units. So these were total units subcontracted. Why? It's because a month regular production was how many units? A month of regular production was actually was 40 units. That was regular production per month. These ones, the 40 meaning 40 units, these ones per month. So from the breakdown of 50 units, 40 units were for regular production. 8 units were units subcontracted. Why? Because they told us that the capacity for your overtime is 8 units. So from the total 50 units, 50 minus 40 for regular. Okay, so this is for regular. Then the other one was for what? So this was for regular. Minus 8 for overtime. Then the 2 would have been for subcontracting per month. So meaning that this is why we are having the aspect where we are subtracting here 14 minus 9, we are getting 5. That was a back order unit. Okay, throughout. And then as we get down to the other one, the other back order units, we had 17 minus 14. 17 is the total of what we have here. Okay, that is 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 9 is 17 minus 14. So in the other month we are going to have the total subcontracting that back order units is 3. So as we come here, the maximum unit subcontract is 9 units, period 4. And the back order units maximum is 5 units. Okay, 5 units, period 5. That's what we have for the back order units. Is 5 units period 5. And we have here the 5 units, which is here in period 5. So that is what we have. Then, of course, that is the but what? That is, okay, so 5 units period 5. And then the total regular cost is 40 units multiplied by 7 months. Then you multiply by the regular cost. What the regular production cost here was $80. So meaning what we are simply saying here is that on a regular basis, we have the 40 units. This is the 40 units times 7 months. 80 units times 8 is 22,400. So 22,400 is the regular production cost. So $22,400, 40 units per month multiplied by 7 months. What I was simply saying is that there are 40 units per month, these ones. Okay, so 40 units per month. We have these ones here. Okay, so 40 units per month. These are regular production cost. So 40 units per month multiplied by 7 months. We're getting to 80 units multiplied by $80. The $80 was per unit. So this is now giving us the 22,400. Okay, so 22,400, that's how it was obtained. Okay, so when we come here, it is 22,400. That's how the 22,400 was obtained. Okay, so you have 22,400 in this case. Okay, so 22,400. Right, so that answers part D of this question. Simply having 22,400. Then the total overtime cost. So total overtime cost is actually equal to 8 units per month times 7 months, which is giving us 56 units times 120. The 120 is per unit. So the 120 is per unit. Okay, so we are simply getting now down to, okay, so $120 overtime cost per unit. So this is giving us the value where we are having, okay, the overtime cost is 6,720. Subcontracting units, we have 12, that is the 14 units, which is simply saying that it is 2 units per month times 7 months, which is giving us, right, 14 units multiplied by $140, which is giving us 1,960. So, like I mentioned that from the total production here, from the 50, there was 2 units that were being subcontracted per month. Okay, now for 7 months, we are getting 14 units times $140, which is given here. The $140 is given. So this is actually how we are getting down to the value here, which is 1960. Then the holding cost, we had 1 plus 6, which is 7 units times $10. Here we are the holding cost of 1. Okay, as we come here, the holding units, we had 1 unit here as holding unit. we had a 1. So we had a 6 and 1, which means we simply, first of all, here, we simply say our holding cost, okay? Our holding cost was obtained this way. Production was the 40 plus 8 plus 2, which is 50. 50 minus 44 is ending stock of 8. That is ending stock of 6, which is the beginning stock in this period. So beginning stock is this amount, plus production of 50 is giving us 56, minus the demand of 55 here, we are getting the ending stock of 1. So the only ending stock we have is these two, 6 and 1. That's how come we are having the 7 units times the holding cost per unit, or is actually $10. That is holding cost per unit per month was $10. Okay, so this at least answers the holding cost. Then the back order units, we had only these back order units, 5 and 3. The back order units were 8 units. So 8 units were back order units times the okay, 8 units times the $20 per unit. So the back order cost is $160. So the total cost of the plan, we add this one, we add a 70, we add this other cost, and we also add the overtime cost, we also add the regular production cost. So in summing up those ones, those the costs, okay, starting from the regular cost, the overtime cost, and subcontracting cost, including holding and back order cost, giving us 31,310. Right, so this is how this was supposed to be done. So 31,310. Okay, so 31,310 is the cost of this one. Okay, so this one is 31,310. Okay, so 31,310. These other costs were already sorted out. Okay, so this is how the costs were obtained. Of course, you can see the overtime cost. In that case, the overtime cost was 6,720. Okay, subcontracting 1,960. Holding was $70, and getting down to the back order cost was 160. So just substituting the figures here, we can get our 6,720. Then we also have 1,960. Then so we have a 70 here. Then a 160 here. So this is how these ones were obtained. All right. So that answers question 1. Question 2 was a very straightforward question. So question 2 was on MPS, master production schedule. So under this, for this question, they're simply saying Kitchen Appliances Limited manufactures a popular kitchen blender model. That is model X. The company uses a master production schedule to manage production and commitments to customers. The planning horizon is 6 weeks. The scheduler is currently working on a schedule for model X. The scheduler uses a production lot size of 200 and the safety stock of 50. Okay, the schedule as the following forecasts and customer orders. D is customer orders for the next 6 weeks. So we have these ones. So these are forecast and customer orders. Then help the massive production schedule to fill in the MPS record shown below. Okay. For model X, there are 50 units on hand, and not all table cells must be filled. Okay, where there is no value, enter 0. As I should have no commas, no decimal, no negatives. We have this one. So this one is forecast demand, then customer orders, ending inventory before the current period. So that is ending inventory in the previous quarter, production in the current quarter, and ending inventory for the current quarter. So what I'm trying to say is, for this question, we have this information here. The most important thing are these demand in the current demand orders in the current month or period, ending inventory in the previous month, production in the current month, ending inventory in the current month. So our ending inventory in the current month is equal to ending inventory in the previous month, then plus production minus highest demand value, okay, for the period, highest demand value for the period. So this is just about what you need to know concerning these ones. So this is what these ones represent. Okay, so here, these ones were given. So our beginning stock was 150. 150 to meet the demand of 120, yes, we can. But whatever we remain with should not be less than safety stock. Our safety stock is 50 units. Okay. So inventory should not fall below the safety stock. Our safety stock in this period was the safety stock was 50. So inventory should not fall below the 50. That's what it means. So what you remain with should not fall below the 50. So this is what we are doing here. We are just simply saying opening stock plus production. Opening stock was 150. Meet the demand of 120, the highest demand from here. Okay, opening stock plus production minus demand. So here we would have remained with a 30, but our safety stock was 50. So inventory should not be fall below the 50. So that's why we required the production of 200. 200 was given in the question. The 200 lot size was given in the question here. So you're supposed to take note of that lot size carefully. Okay, so 200 was given here. So meaning from here, you are just supposed to just simply add. So we are simply adding, okay? We are adding which one? The beginning stock, which was already given, plus the production. So beginning stock plus production minus the demand. So we remain with a 230, okay? So 230 is what we have. So from the 230, you can see that 230 will be the beginning stock here. So in this month, we do not require production. We will simply say opening stock, which is the 230 minus the, okay, so 230 is what we are going to have there. All right. So 230 minus 150 is 80. Okay, so 230 minus, we're getting the highest value here. So 230 minus 150 is 80, which is this 80 here. 80 is the beginning stock. 80 to meet the demand of 100, the highest here is 100. It's not possible, so we require production of 200. 200, so it will be 280 minus 100, which is 180. 180 comes here, 180 minus 120, it is skiste, so you don't produce. It's a zero here. So skiste as opening stock, skiste to meet the demand of 110. No, you cannot even manage. So we're going to produce 200 units. So it will be 260 minus 110 is 150. Then 150 comes here. 150 minus 100 is 50. So this is how this table is sorted out. So we are using the highest demand for a period. So here we are using that one. Here we are using this one. Here we are using this one to subtract. Here we are using this one. Here we use this one. Okay. So that's what we are doing in this case. All right. So that answer is A. So part B, they just introduced one thing here that they incorporated these quantities in these months or these weeks. Okay, so it's just the same thing we are doing. So 90, 60, and 120. So these were supposed to be given in week 2, that is week 2, 90, 60, and 120. So as we come here, you can simply identify the 90 is here, the 60 is here, and the 120 is here. So you use the largest possible value for this one. For each one of these, you use the largest value and subtract. So here, this is 130. 130 is the highest. 100 is the highest. 110 is the highest. 110 is the higher. Then 120 is higher in this case, and this one. So here you're going to say beginning inventory plus production minus demand. You're going to have the 230. 230 is the beginning stock here, minus that is 100. Okay, 230 minus 130 is 100. Carry forward 100, 100 minus that plus production. So this is how this question was supposed to be answered. So this is how we require production in week 1, week 3, and week 5 of 200 units. All right, so this is how question part B, question 2, part B was supposed to be answered using this formula. Ending stock is equal to beginning stock plus production minus highest demand part. All right, so this is just a very important formula that you need to understand. All right, so this is how question B, question 2, part B was answered. So we are using the total production opening stock plus production minus highest demand value in a given